a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. Well, here's an interesting fact. I was married to my guest's Uncle Bill. Unfortunately, Bill passed away a number of years ago now. But anyway, he posted something on Facebook, not Bill, but my guest. And I thought, well, I wonder if he'd be interested in coming on the show and talking about it. And he said yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bruce Duthie. Welcome to the show, Bruce.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for the warm introduction, and very pleased to spend this next little piece of time with you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, okay, tell everybody what it was you participated in.
For sure. So on November 16th, I participated in an annual executive sleep out that's part of the Covenant House program. And what we do is in support of the Covenant House, which is a organization that helps youth at risk with facilities, safety, food, counseling, a whole variety of really required services. So every year, and for the past 4 years, I've been sleeping out on the street on a piece of cardboard to raise funds and awareness for the youth at risk in our own backyard.
So how long do you stay outside?
We migrate outside at about 8 or 9 p.m. and then sleep through, or try to sleep, don't really sleep, but are on the cardboard till about 5:30 in the morning the next day.
Okay, so what made you decide to get involved?
Our organization, the People's Group, People's Trust, has been supporting Covenant House for the last, I want to call it about 7 or 8 years. Mm-hmm. And prior to me sleeping out, our CEO would sleep out. And then I think it was in 2019 when it was at the height of COVID, or it wouldn't be 2020.
2020, right?
2020, yeah, right at the height of COVID. He was out of Vancouver because he was and he asked me to substitute in. So that's when I started, right, in 2020.
So what
and
was
then ever
that?
Since.
Yeah, okay, I think it's great. Yeah. So what was that experience like, by the way?
You go through a variety of emotions, Nancy. Like, first of all, I wanted to really understand what Covenant House was all about, right, and why it's there and how it serves at-risk youth. Now, I have, as you know, a couple of children of my own. They're now kind of in the past high school ages, or one's just finishing high school and one's older. And when I started to learn about the struggles that youth can have by not having a safe home, an environment that they can grow up in, that they feel safe in, protected, loved, etc. And there's a lot of these people out there today, tomorrow, next week, next year, hundreds, if not thousands of youth in our country that have this situation that they deal with on a daily basis.
Right. Yeah.
And so that struck a chord with me because, in a lot of things in life, you kind of relate it to yourself. And so I'm like kind of trying to imagine my own kids out on the street. How would they survive? What would they do to survive? And then I thought, this is something I can absolutely get behind.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty amazing when you think about it, right? How they do survive. And unfortunately, a lot of them turn to drugs or gangs or whatever it is that they feel whatever it is they need to feel, they need something to belong to, right?
Yeah. They unfortunately, when they're in that situation, from the stories that we've heard, it usually results in a very, very victimized position, whether it's drugs, whether it's gang, whether it's prostitution, whether it's sex trades, whether it's trafficking. Like, it's none of it is good. Like, none of it. And so when they have a place to kind of escape that pattern and try to restart their life on a much more promising and positive note, mm-hmm, if I can play a very small part of that journey to help change, even if it's just one kid's life,
Yeah.
then I've done my job. My chore of sleeping out on the street for one night is a small like drop in the ocean as it relates to the challenges that these kids face on a day-to-day basis.
Right. Yeah. Now, for the very first time you did it, how did your family feel?
They were worried, and at the time of during COVID, we actually weren't able to come together as a cohort of people doing this, so we had to sleep out individually on our own. And I slept on the base of our driveway on our street, and
Okay.
everybody kind of slept. And I remember it was um, it was an experience, Nancy, because it was raining that year. It was raining, and I had like a umbrella that covered like half my body, but
Right.
the other half got literally soaked. And it was one of the most physically uncomfortable things I've gone through.
Yeah.
And then when you're past that physical discomfort, it starts to get into your psychological discomfort where you're thinking about, how would somebody do this every day? What would you turn to, whether it be theft or other things, other acts of crime that just would give you, 1 degree difference away from where they're at.
Yeah.
And you start to, I think, become more aware of the rationale that leads to this systemic issue of poverty and
Right.
abuse and addiction that we see in our cities right now.
Yeah.
It
For sure.
starts by one event leading to several other bad events.
So when you were feeling the worst discomfort, and probably at the
Yeah.
beginning, I would say, was there ever a point when you think, why am I doing this?
Absolutely. Like I could just either walk up back to my house and have a cup of coffee, go in my bed, and then when I do stuff, Nancy, in my life, like it's kind of all in or nothing. And then I thought, like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to try to get as much awareness as I can from a person so I can share the story accurately and authentically to anybody who ever asked me. Like, so it was something I wanted to be part of. And
Yeah.
so far in the next year, when it started to get a little bit more, we could go in small groups in the following year. I put on my, call it homeless clothes,
Mhm.
right? Because so I walked from my office building to the Covenant House, and on my way to the Covenant House, I was like, okay, I'm gonna. And generally speaking, that pathway up Hornby Street, if I'm wearing my business clothes, people will look at me, they'll smile, they'll kind of gesture, they will give me the time of day, they will be polite and cordial.
Yeah.
And when I was walking up the street, same person, I'm the same person, walking just in different attire, people are like moving out of my way, not wanting to make eye contact.
Yeah.
I went into a restaurant, just like a grab and go, to when I was in my homeless clothes, and I literally said, "Hey, can I, get that or that?" And the response was, "We're sold out of that." I'm like, "Okay, can I have that or that?" "No, we don't have that either. It's probably best you find something else." And literally, Nancy, I tell you, with full honesty, I was in that store the day before in my business clothes,
Mhm.
and like got impeccable service. So what that opened up a new dimension of the struggles that these youth face. They get rejected, they're isolated, they have not. And then so what does that do to your psychology every day, day after day after day? And so that struck a chord too. So it just continued, hey, if we can turn one person's life around for the good, then why not? Like,
Why not?
it's the least I can do.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know if you're aware, my daughter Jamie used to work security, different places. And she said that sometimes she had to ask homeless people to move on because they're on private property and maybe in
Yep.
business or whatever. And she said, as long as you treat them like they're human beings, most of them would be very compliant,
Yep.
But not occasionally it wasn't like that, but for the most part.
Sure.
And I live in a seniors building, and sometimes there's people that sleep in the bushes that are just for the property here, and people in the building freak out. And I'm thinking, look, they're not hurting any of us.
Nope.
They're just looking for a place to. The only thing that bothers me is don't leave your garbage around. Like, pick up after yourself, right? But it's a sad situation, it really is. So like,
it really is.
If you can help one person, and then maybe that'll have some trickle down effect, right? Trickle down, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. You just definitely kind of that old adage, which really resonates with me, is pay it forward.
Yeah.
Like, what can you do to make somebody else's life a little bit better? And if they keep paying it forward, then over time, hopefully, we can just build a little bit of a better society that we all live and share in. So there's lots of learnings, Nancy, by doing this. I share my stories with my own kids when I come back in, and they're aware of that situation. And when you see a homeless person on the street, and when I see a homeless person on the street, I don't see them as this like obstacle in society. I see this as a concern, and I see it as a human being who's on the street without any other options to go. And it makes me feel sad, to be honest.
Because we don't know their story, right? We don't know
their story. They all have a story.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of interesting because this morning I went to the store, and not far from here, and it just so happened to be today. There was a young, she looked like she was First Nation, sleeping outside, like right at the door of one of the churches that's really close to me. And I when I walked there, she wasn't awake. When I came back, she was awake. And I always look at people. I always smile at people. Not everybody smiles back, but I think treat everybody like there's a human being in that body there.
Exactly.
And that might do something for that person, right?
Yeah, you can completely. I can't say it any better than you just did, and that's why I do it. That's why I continue to do it. And if I can do more, I will do more.
So you intend, obviously, it sounds like you're going to intend on continuing.
I will. Yeah, I'm going to try to recruit some of my friends to do it with me, and keep fighting for the positive choice. I'm by nature, I am, as much as I am a realist, I favor on the side of optimism and saying, let's do what we can to build a better society.
Yeah.
And it starts like one act at a time.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds really good to me. Really good.
Yeah.
So let's just say somebody wanted to get involved. Now, how would they go about that?
Yeah. I don't know how to navigate the Covenant House really well, but what I would say is if you go to their website and they have good contact information, somebody in there will answer, and somebody in there will get you involved on how to help, whether it's volunteering for a day, a week, an hour, whether it's sleeping out. I could say that they are very well organized, and they have great people always there to open up their time to see who else can help.
Right. Very good. Well, very good. We're going to end it there. Just stay on camera. So everybody, you listen to Bruce Duthie, and if you can't help by maybe volunteering like he does, whatever, next time you see a homeless person, just smile at them. That's all sometimes people need, is just a smile, make them feel like they're a human being. And we're in that kind of season, we're supposed to all care about each other, right? So let's do that. Let's actually honestly take care of everybody. All right. And thank you, everybody, for watching the show. I hope you continue to do so. Merry Christmas, if I don't see you before. And peace out, everyone.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.